Recently, a settlement was announced from the Multi-State Lottery Association that actually had been years in the making. And it involves a story that is basically ripped right out of the headlines from Hollywood. Joining me to explain what happened in this story is Scott Hardy from Top Class Actions. And Scott, before we talk about the numbers on this settlement, I want you to tell everybody the story of this lottery rigging employee, because again, this sounds like it's an upcoming Hollywood movie about a lottery heist, but this was real life. Tell us what this guy did.
Well, so this is one of those things that you would think about. You would say, man, I wonder if somebody could do this. And you had the director of the IT team, the director of IT for the Multi-State Lottery Association, that talked with his brother and said, hey, I think that I can actually change the software for these different lotteries and make it so that we are a guaranteed winner. And they did. They went ahead and he made the changes to the software. His cohort, his partner in crime, bought the ticket and won $16 million. Wow. So they rigged it, they won, but then they got caught. And now that guy got 25 years as his sentence. 25 years for rigging a lottery. Now, from a criminal defense perspective, I have to think that that sentence will be overturned because thankfully he didn't murder anyone. And, you know, yes, people were potentially, they didn't even lose because if you won, then you would have gotten a share. But, you know, this guy just rigged the system so those numbers popped up. I can't see this guy spending 25 years in jail for it, but who knows? You know, if he doesn't have a good defense lawyer, and of course he wasn't able to keep that $16 million to get a good defense lawyer, he might be stuck.
You know, and it's really interesting too, because a lot of people would think, okay, this guy rigged the lottery, he won the lottery, he got caught, he goes to jail. That's the end of it, right? I mean, where would a lawsuit come from? And that's what strikes me as so brilliant, really, about this class action lawsuit, because you have people who were affected in these particular lotteries that were rigged. They bought tickets thinking, I have a shot. I mean, the lottery itself says you have a 1 in however many hundreds of millions chance of winning. But because of this IT director changing the program, your odds of winning were now 0. So these people bought tickets, you know, $1, $100, you know, some people do go out there and spend massive amounts of money on this, only to later find out after the story breaks that they had been robbed of their chance of winning. They had been duped, they paid the money, and now they want their money back, and now they might actually get it back, correct?
Right. Well, and thing is, they did have a chance, a very small chance of winning. They just had to have picked the same numbers that the Eddie Tipton, the former Multi-State Lottery Association IT director, picked. If they picked those numbers, then they would have also won a portion of that $16 million. But of course, they didn't. And what isn't clear from this is how they got caught. Did somebody come forward? Did they do it too often? Because Tipton worked alongside his brother and a friend to rig the software. And so on 3 specific days, they had 9 rigged drawings between November 2005 and May 2013. So most likely they got caught because they kept returning to the well to get paid and to do this. Otherwise, if they just did this once, we probably would never know.
Exactly. You know, it would have been just an odd coincidence that the IT director's brother purchased a winning ticket. You know, hey, weird things happen sometimes. But, you know, that's kind of how it works with people who are a little bit greedy, is that it's never enough. You know, what if we try this again? What if we just do it one more time? You know, one more time, then we're good to go. And you always end up getting caught, you know? there's very few stories out there of successful burglars who go through their entire career stealing from people without ever getting eventually caught. And you know, that's kind of what this is. This is a little bit of more of a high-tech burglary here. They may not have been able to guarantee that they were going to win, but what they were trying to do was guarantee that nobody else would win in this particular instance.
Right. And so you have the Multi-State Lottery Association, which is going to pay out $4.3 million to players who played the game and didn't win. The exact details on how to submit a claim aren't out yet, but if you're in one of the 33 states where the Multi-State Lottery Association is, you should be able to get your portion of that $4.3 million and hopefully put some money back in your pocket, or if so desired, go buy some more lottery tickets.
Absolutely. For more information about this story, follow the link in the description of this video. And as Scott pointed out, since we do not yet have forms for people to fill out, I recommend you not only go to the link, but bookmark it for now, save it in a document somewhere so that you can come back to it later once we do have that info. Scott Hardy, Top Class Actions, thank you very much for telling us this story.
You're welcome. Thanks for your time, Farron.